Hey guys, Cheap here with more Doki Doki Literature Club. I meant to have yesterday be a recording day, and instead it ended up a running errands day because I keep forgetting my dad's schedule because it changes from week to week. Alright, so I believe last time we were getting ready to read our poetry, which I'm very curious about. Can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. Couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never done this before. Now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait. Suri and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Suri's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. 10 out of 10, Suri. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Here's the problem, there's 5 people, so this is gonna be a weird setup. We'll share with Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. Higgity. I can trust her opinion, to be fair. Ellipses. Adorable face. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Eh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yes, you did. It's okay, because you're cute, though. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. Really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? None. Your use of imagery and metaphor indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. It's actually my first time, really. Huh? Did you steal this poem? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. Just me now. Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. Just your finger along the words of the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just, there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end results in both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Is that... okay. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. She is an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. Hey! Don't start a sentence and not commit to it. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thoughts, or thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if blah 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 blah. I was reading it right, and then I second-guessed myself. This is... ugh. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself was kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Hold on, I gotta lean forward. Oh, No, that's to continue. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. Must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Oh, is she secretly a ghost? I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. Your handwriting is amazing. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. Really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. So normally it'd be Cthulhu's coming out of the light. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghost Yuri? Woohoo. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Cheap. Really? I must totally miss the point. Oh, crud. I suppose you did only glance over it after all. I think she's writing about being, like, about to expire. Or, like, from a time before, like, the light. There. It doesn't match up with my thought of her being a secret serial killer, so. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, which is what I was thinking. But she could be a real ghost too, I've run into that before. That was in, oh, what was the pigeon game? Hateful Boyfriend. One of the boyfriends was a ghost. But I'm not going to tell you guys which one. Woo! Living in our last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. Soon to be left with nothing. It's a lot more soul in putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. It's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours is impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. A thing or 20. Thanks. Oh, she's doing the cute thing. All of her stuff is the cute thing. Whatever. Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Cheap. Me too. Oh no, we have to share with everyone. Where's a d6? Oh, it's right there from the last time I was rolling to decide something. Because I'm indecisive. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the order. So series 1 and 4. 3, we're going with Monica. Hi, Cheap. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. Much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Cheap. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? What's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon? Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Cheap. I was going ooh in my head while reading this. It's really metaphorical. I want to know what our poem actually ended up being. Not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easier for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's my real life philosophy. Like, if I go into a class, I'm like, look, I'm gonna expect a C, but I'm still gonna, like, work and stuff, and that way anything above that C is a delightful surprise. That works really well in college. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. Yeah, that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. I like Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all the nuances. It could take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I really never asked, though. I never really asked that. Look, I said all the right words, it just wasn't in the right order. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about it. Do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. Oh wait, where am my voice? I could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love seeing you try new things. That's the best way to find a kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kind of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about it's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Yeah, I do. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims not to be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? See. Well, let's read it then. Oh. They have the same handwriting. I'm very suspicious now. Actually, it's probably a little different. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. The direction the speckle protrudes. A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer outside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything, full of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. Interesting. I'm not gonna get into analysis. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a little bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. You try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. I'm trying to analyze. Okay, so Yuri's got the thing where she kind of possibly feels left in the past, or just like she doesn't belong here and like everything's changing around her and she doesn't fit with it. I feel like Monica might have a thing where like a common thing with popular people is like sort of put on a wall or a fake version of them, and when they try, I guess if you walk around being fake all the time, it's hard to actually get to really know somebody. But someone was actually like taking the time to get to know them and look past that, which could be what's going on with her, or it could be a metaphor that I'm not completely catching. It's been a while. I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours. I'm really used to like sitting for 3 hours just analyzing poetry. I'm not going to do that for an episode. Especially when I have so many people to get through. Let's get Natsuki over with. Cheap, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put effort in. We all start somewhere, right? Still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, that I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Shots fired. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. It's like, people try to do things, but we don't successfully do anything. Interesting. Yeah. Told you that you weren't going to like it. Like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I don't know what voice I'm doing for her. I'm trying to sound girly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you doing great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme in the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. Sad to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. This will be interesting. This is a good poem, Cheap. You sure it's your first time? Of course. Not that good. Am I the kind of guy who'd be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. That's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. Not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? Like I said before, Cheap. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this is for other people. or try new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. Not sure Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and with that, yeah, we're gonna end the episode. We'll see her poem and stuff next time. Bye!